She stands on the ridge as the twin moons rise over the glass plains. Her crown is a lattice of pale metal and living light. She is the princess of the sky courts. Her name is Kaleri, daughter of Stormson. The dust below the ridge walks a small group of explorers from Earth. Their suits shine a little in the moon haze. Their boots make soft marks on the mirrored ground. At the front walks Claire. She has clear eyes and steady steps. She is calm when others are not. Behind her move Megan, Laura, Zoe, and Kate. They carry packs and scanners and a flag sewn by kids in a small-town school. Radio is silent because the air is thin and filled with whispering ions. So Claire uses hand signs and slow breaths. She feels the eyes of the land on her back. Like cold rain, she knows they are being watched. She keeps walking anyway from the ridge. The princess studies them with quiet interest. She does not fear them, she knows the maps of power and the old songs of her throne, but she also knows hunger and hope and the ache of a future not yet born. Her people stand behind her in the shadow of winged ships. They wait for her word. Explorers reach the foot of the ridge. Claire looks up and sees the crown and the flowing mantle. She sees that the mantle is woven from threads of sky silk that can hold a storm. She raises both hands in open peace. There is no gun and no sharp edge and no loud display. Only a simple greeting of one traveler to Another Kaleri descends the ridge like nightfall. Over a lake, her feet do not break the glass. Her guard moves with her like a tide that does not splash, but the guard keeps distance because this is a moment for rulers and guests, not for fear. Claire bows with slow respect. She speaks in slow sounds that match the breath of this world. She does not know if the princess understands the words, but she knows that meaning can live in the way. A person stands. A princess answers in a voice like wind over a metal harp. The guard hums in chorus. Claire listens and nods. Laura watches the sky with quiet eyes. Megan keeps the pack open and ready with gifts. Zoe holds a small light that shows the colors of Earth. Kate smiles to show warmth without demand. Princess raises a hand and the guard steps back. She points to the campground beyond the ridge, where a hearthstone glows with slow fire. She draws a circle in the air and points to the moons, and then to the explorers and to herself. She is making a sign of union and shelter. Claire understands. They are invited under royal watch. They are safe if they follow the ways of this land. She nods and thanks thee. Walk together to the hearthstone. It sits in a bowl of soft sand that smells like iron, and sweet herbs above it hangs a web of light that keeps the cold away without smoke. Beasts with feather scales watch from the shadows with bright calm. Ice Megan offers the princess a ribbon from her pack. It is blue and gold and carries the scent of rain on warm soil. The princess accepts and ties it to her mantle. The guard cheers in a soft rhythm like rain on a roof. There is a ritual of bread and salt from Earth, and a ritual of wind and spark from the sky court's hands. Touch hands without fear. Eyes meet and hold for honest timeth. Princess turns to Claire and speaks again. Her voice is soft and firm like a steady drum. She points at the great tent near the hearthstone. Then she touches the back of her own hand to her chest and to Claire's shoulder. Then she draws a line on the air that means night and protection, and promiseth guard knows the ritual and keeps still.
Ow.
This is an old law of her people. On the first night of a new alliance, the royal bed is shared with the sworn guest, not for claim of body and not for desire, but for the binding of breath and keeping of watch. If the guest is trusted to sleep with the crown, then the land itself blesses. Claire understands the meaning. She feels heat in her face, but not shame. She thinks of the team and of the mission. She thinks of the long road home and the hungry need to make a bridge for many. She bows again to show she accepts the old law and honest respect. Megan gives a small smile and squeezes Claire's glove. Laura nods once with practical grace. Zoe whispers a joke to Kate, and the two relax a little. The team understands that trust is the heart of all voyages. Night grows deeper. The moons cross each other like two hands joined in prayer. The land glows blue and green in soft waves. The tent opens to the scent of clean linen and a low hum that calms the blood. The royal bed is wide and shaped like a leaf from a tree of light. Its surface feels like warm water and strong moss at the same time. Kaleri and Claire remove the dust of travel with. Gentle cloths they keep, eyes steady, and movements slow and respectful. No one laughs, and no one mocks. The moment this is a vow and a watchie. Lie on the royal bed, with space between them. Like a small river of quiet, their breaths find a rhythm. With the hum of the tent outside, the guard sings a low warding song. Inside, the princess speaks of her people in simple words. She tells of a sky that once broke in a war of storms. She tells of a mother who walked into lightning to save a city. She tells of the throne that will soon be hers and the burden that waits like a mountain. Claire answers with her own stories. She speaks of a town by a wide river where kids ride bikes in summer light. She speaks of a classroom where a teacher showed a picture of the stars and said go. She speaks of her first launch and the taste of fear that turned into courage as the world fell away. She speaks of the oath she made to bring back something more than data. She wants to bring back a door that others can open. The princess listens, and her eyes shine with a faint gold glow. She asks, with a small hand sign, why humans chase the far sky when home is still full of work. Claire draws a circle for home, and a line for path, and a star for hope. She opens her hands to show there is enough room for many dreams. Princess smiles in a way that is not loud but very real. She takes a small coin from her mantle. It is made from a rare alloy. Grown in the nest of a living forge, on one side is a tree of storms and on the other is a river of light. She gives it to Claire and says that it marks a sworn friend of the sky. Quartz Claire takes from her pack a patch from her flight jacket. It shows a little blue planet and a line of white fire that arcs to a tiny star. She places it on the mantle of Kaleri with a pin that has seen rain and smoke and sunrise. There is softness in the air, like the silence after a song. The bed hum changes, and the tent lights dim more. The princess and the explorer rest without closing their trust. Their hands move closer until they touch at the line of quiet in the middle. It is a touch of pledge, not of claim, breath to breath, heartbeat to heartbeat. Night brings a test. A shadow moves at the edge of the camp like oil across ice. The feather-scaled beasts hiss and then fall very still. The guard steps into a shield formation without sound. The hearthstone brightens like a sunrise, trapped in a bowl. Claire sits up with calm speed. Kaleri rises. With the grace of a drawn bow, they step from the bed as one. The tent opens for them like a friend making way across. The glass plane comes. A swarm of cold drones from the old stormlords. They are metal bones and hungry code. They smell like dust and burned sugar. They do not speak, and they do not ask. They come to test the new bond and to break it. If they can't, guard holds the line, but the swarm splits and looks for the heart of the camp. Claire sees the pattern and points to the flank, where the drones skim the ground to hide from the warding song. She moves with the wind and grabs a coil from her pack. It is a simple tool built from earth steel and a dream. It can grab the hiss of the hearthstone and shape it into a net. Kaleri understands without words. She calls the storm tree that lives in her crown. Light runs down her arm like a river of bright rope. She and Claire stand back to back. They cast the net of heat and sound in a wide arc. When the drones hit the net, they slow and spin like leaves caught in a whirl of summer air. Guard sweeps in and sands their dark code with a melody of the sky courts. The beasts leap and tap the drones with soft claws that blur their sensors. The drones fall quiet and the plane grows still again. The princess looks at the explorer and sees a strength that is steady and bright. She sees a person who will not let fear write the story. She now knows in her bones that this alliance can hold guard. Bows to both of them. Hearthstone settles into a calm glow. The beasts return to their perches like lanterns, and Kaleri takes Claire hand and leads her back to the royal bed. There is no command in the touch now. There is partnership and promise. They lie down once more in the space of trust before sleep. The princess speaks a short vow. She promises to keep the gate of the sky courts open to earth travelers who walk with care. She promises to lend ships and singers when storms rise near the blue world. Claire answers with her own vow. She promises to teach her people the ways of quiet courage she has seen here. She promises to defend the sky courts in council and an open day. If shadow comes again, the moons drift apart and the land returns to soft night. In the royal bed, two paths cross, and braid their hands rest together on the border between them. Peace settles, like a warm blanket over the camp dag breaks. With pale green light that feels like mint on the tongue, the guard brings fruit that glows, and bread that steams without fire. Laughter returns like birds to a new spring. Megan names the feather-scaled beasts after trees of earth, and they seem pleased. Laura trades a field kit lens for a map made of singing glass. Zoe teaches a simple Earth song, and the guard hums along. Kate learns the gestures for friend and thanks, and safe travelth. Princess and the explorer stand before the ships and the hearthstone and tea.